how did it come about with Edward Scissorhands, and was it sort of love at first sight between you and Tim?
I don't know. It was weird. It was strange. I flew to Los Angeles to have a meeting. Reluctantly flew to Los Angeles to have a meeting with Tim because I thought there was no way in the world that he was going to give me that gig. You know, at the time I was on a TV show that I was desperately trying to get fired off of, and they weren't interested in firing me for some reason. And I did far worse stuff on the television show that I've ever done for any character. I mean, you show up on set with a George Washington wig and a rubber band tied around the back of your tongue, so you have a speech impairment. So I started using my, character choice and saying, well, no, wait a minute, you can't. You hired me to play this part. You can't mess around with my character choices. That's just not going to happen. Still, they didn't fire me. So I met with Tim, thinking this is a waste of time, and it's heartbreaking because I'd read the screenplay to Edward, and literally the thing touched me deeply. I mean, like, you're reading this thing, tears pouring out of your eyes. And I knew the character I just knew the character. I knew what he needed to be, and so I met with Tim at this coffee shop. I didn't know what he looked like, so the joint was packed, and I'm looking around, and then I see this skinny, fidgety dude with like sprigs of hair sticking out all over the place, and he was kind of like, playing with spoons and drinking coffee and drawing, and then I went, oh yeah, that's him. That's the guy. And so I went over and sat down, and we proceeded to talk about the role and about stuff and our childhoods and this and that, and remarkably similar backgrounds, and we spoke for like 3.5 hours and drank, 15 pots of coffee. So we're both zinging out of our skulls on caffeine, and Tim's arms are like all over the place, and I literally walked out of the coffee shop chewing on a spoon, like this metal spoon. And I thought, well, listen, it was great to meet the guy, he's really cool. And I didn't hear anything for a month, and then the phone rang, and I just heard this voice say, Johnny. And I said, yeah. I said, you're Edward Scissorhands. A month later, blew me away. So then I went full tilt into finding Edward. And Edward was sort of based on, well, newborns and toddlers who sort of see things for the first time, and who can find the beauty or the fascination with, like, resin grapes or that, or everything's new, remote control, wow. And the dog that I'd had, who was just he was the dog that I had was unconditional love, even if you reprimand them and scold them, and they sort of slither away into a corner the second you call them back. Eyes are filled with love. So that dog became sort of my basis for the character, and I think it was the first time that Tim or the screenwriter Caroline Thompson had ever had an actor start cutting out like 85% of the dialogue. They were like, oh, actors always want to speak more. And it seemed to me that Edward had his vocabulary would be limited, certainly, but limited it to, in a kind of an innocent way, like instead of, I believe Diane Wiest, when she comes and finds me in the castle, she asks me where my father is. And the line is written was, he's dead, or he died. And I thought that was maybe too knowing of Edward, so I changed it to he didn't wake up, which I think opens up a whole other area of purity or innocence to the character, because death doesn't exist in his mind. You know, it's just he didn't wake up. I don't know why. So, and Tim was very patient, because I think, you know, even the first couple of weeks of Edward, I think everyone was sort of flipping out. Even Tim was a little nervous. But yeah, no, it seemed to work out.
You've done, I think, altogether 9 movies now, you and Tim?
I think so, yeah.
9 movies. Starting with Edward Scissorhands. So, how would you describe, you know, after all these movies, your working relationship and your friendship? Is it more friendship and you work with a friend, and a working relationship? And is it completely trusting from his side, and does he let you run freely?
Yeah, he does. I mean, he that's the whole thing between the most important thing between a director and an actor is the element of trust. You know, that you know the guy trusts you. Well, the person trusts you. You know that you can. It's set up in such a way that you can try anything. Some things maybe you might fail, which is all right, you know. But in that trying things, you might just find something that hasn't been it's not prefab housing, or it's not, you know, pre-chewed food. It's something that's fresh and happens in the moment, you know. So yeah, Tim, our relationship, obviously as friends and brothers, has solidified, you know, hugely over the years. It's been, yeah, we did Scissorhands in '90, you know, and and from the beginning there was a shorthand, because Tim has a bit of a he has a bit of a stammer, you know. I have a bit of a stammer, so we developed this weird shorthand that I've had like, you know, grips or you know, electricians on the set come up to me and say, "I just watched you and Tim. I listened to your conversation over the last 15 minutes. Didn't understand a word you said to each other." And in the same sense, his direction to me is to this day is still the same. It's like, you know, he'll just look at me and go, and I get it. You know, he'll do something like, what if, you know, like when he, so that's there, right? And then, and I go, yeah, of course, yeah, sure, yeah, I got you. And it's still that way to this day.
Anything on the horizon with you and Tim that we can look forward to that we were talking about?
We've talked about a number of things, you know, and I'm sure there'll be something down the road that we'll figure out to do together. I certainly hope so. But Tim's one of those guys that if he literally just picked up any piece of paper or several pieces of paper and wanted to shoot it, I would gladly do it. I don't care what the subject matter is. I would do it. Yeah, there's something. I mean, he's my best friend in the world, really, Tim. So, very, very